It's that time. Holy smokes. It is that time. You know, we are coming up on election time here in just, gosh, matter of hours depending on where you live. So I want to see everybody get in the comments because this is going to be my last update for COVID-19 until after we may or may not have a new president elected. I don't think we're going to have anybody new, but I don't want to dampen anybody's night or ruin anybody's evening, but I think President Trump's going to be elected in a landslide. But let's wait till we get some people on here. Everybody, I want to see in the comments because this is going to be an important one tonight, everyone. This is about the coronavirus. This is about the election. This is about America. This is about Nevada and us getting through this complete nonsense and getting into a new year. Let's hope that 2021 is going to be everything we thought 2020 would be. And it's important that we chop things up and discuss this real quick, guys. I mean, you know what's on the line tomorrow. I hope everyone is realizing how serious this is. When you have a presidential candidate like Joe Biden talking about locking down, when you have, him saying he's going to rehire Anthony Fauci, like, are you guys kidding me? Here's something from the BBC, everyone. Coronavirus health experts join global anti-lockdown movement. They all know the lockdowns did not work and should never be repeated again. And yet he goes on TV and keeps saying it, and he's scaring all of you. We've already had a response to the coronavirus. And just so you know, Dr. Birx, that everybody wanted to listen to back in the day, she came out and called President Trump's response perfect. She actually said our response, if we lost 200,000, if we respond perfectly, we would lose 200,000 people. That was Dr. Birx that said that at the time. And we've lost far less than that. And when the numbers do come out, it is going to be stunning. So everybody, I want to say this again. This is an election to decide whether or not you want to be able to open and run your businesses at full capacity, send your children back to normal school, attend your church in more than a gathering of 50, get back to sports, back to entertainment, because if you really think that these guys are going to stop this after Election Day, if President Trump isn't reelected, you're crazy. And you need to seek therapy or something because it's only getting worse. In these blue states, they're only ramping it down tighter and tighter. And what are those blue states? They're these states right here that Hillary Clinton won. Do you see all these states right here, everybody? These are all the states that are still locked down. These are all the states with the highest restrictions. These are all the states with no school. These are the states with no sports. Do you understand that? Do you understand these are the states with the highest unemployment? Do you understand? You see Hawaii down here? Hawaii, second highest unemployment, next to New York, next to third, Nevada. All right, everybody, the lockdowns don't work. We have mass unemployment. We have people in the worst circumstances they've ever been in this country's history. Do you understand it? This election map for Hillary Clinton in 2016 are still the states that are closed down. Notice Nevada, third in unemployment. Hawaii, second in unemployment. New York, first in unemployment. This isn't a joke anymore, everyone. And did you know that the states that have high school sports, youth sports, and college sports are all the red states except for Minnesota up here. Minnesota and Colorado opened their youth sports. Everybody else is shut down still to this date. And I'm not making this up, everybody. I'm going to show you this real quick. I'm not making this up. This is the start. You can see this in green. This is the start or where high school, college, and youth sports started again. The dark green, notice Nevada's one of them, is the states that did not. Okay, the green states, the light green states, we have high school, football started in. The dark green states, we still have no sports in. Does that map look similar to this map? Does that map look similar to this map? If it's not political, then why are all those states closed? If it's not political, then why are all these states closed, everybody? Okay? If it's not political, tell me what it is then. Tell me what it is. Does everybody see that? That's high school sports. That's Hillary Clinton's victory. Why are all the dark states, the blue states, still closed if this isn't political? I hope this tells you something, everybody. I hope this speaks loud and clear. Those are the states with the highest restrictions. Those are the states with the most infections. Those are the states with the most death. Those are the states with the most suicide. Those are the states with the highest unemployment number. Those are the states with the biggest problems in their schools. Riddle me that. And for you mask people that I'm so tired of hearing about, I'm going to show you that. Here's Argentina. Argentina had the highest, most restricted lockdowns. Look at when they implemented masks in Argentina, everybody. Do you see that date? The date they implemented masks was April 14th. And what happened from the day they made masks mandatory in Argentina? Do you see it skyrocketing? Do you see that, everybody? And you can find this online. That was from wearing the masks. And again, don't ask me, please don't ask me, because I wouldn't know anything, right? Our own CDC study found evidence that most who contract COVID-19 frequently wear masks. And Dr. Fauci, everybody, I keep hearing about Fauci, back in April and May said it would be ridiculous for the American public to wear masks. Why? Because most of them wouldn't wear it properly. They're constantly fiddling with their face. They'd be touching their face. And now we know that the coronavirus is spread on surface areas, on touching. And then when you're touching your face and touching the surface, touching your phone, touching the steering wheel, touching the door handle, touching the bathroom door handle, touching the shopping cart, things on the store shelves, and then touching your face, that's how you're, and again, this isn't me making this up. This was off a peer-reviewed study of 154 people. All right? 154 people. And again, what did we find out? You can go look at this. The report's on there. We found out that those most who contract COVID-19 frequently wore masks. So why are they making us wear masks? I don't have that answer. But here's one thing I do have. The World Health Organization has backflipped. The World Health Organization has backflipped on its original COVID stance after calling for world leaders to stop locking down their countries and economies. Simple as that. Why would Joe Biden go out and talking about locking down? Uh-oh. You know I have another one. Here's another one. Stats hold a surprise. Lockdowns may have had little effect on COVID-19 spread. Can't argue with that, guys. Every public health agency across the world now is saying the lockdowns were bad. Here we go. The Great Barrington Declaration. For those smart people out there, those people that want to argue with me, you want to pick a fight with me, get on my page and challenge me. Go challenge 25,000 public health professionals, MDs, those with PhDs in public health, epidemiologists, all have signed this document. As infectious disease epidemiologists and public health scientists, we have grave concerns about the damaging physical and mental health impacts of the prevailing COVID-19 policies and recommended approach that we call focused protection. They are now saying over 100 million people will starve this year because of COVID-19 precautions that everybody knows now are complete nonsense. And they go on here, again, to talk about the PCR tests and the fact that we should never have been using and never should have used the very PCR tests we're using right now, the RT-PCR tests, because they don't diagnose anything. And 4 out of 5 of them are giving false positive. Nearly 90% of the tests used, the PCR tests in Nevada, Massachusetts, and New York are providing false positives in the 90th percentile. Do you understand that means 4 out of 5 people are testing positive for the coronavirus, and that test doesn't even mean they actually have it? It can detect whether you've got parts of the virus in you. You could have had it 5 months ago. You could have had it 6 months ago. You could have had a common cold or a previous coronavirus. It'll still show up that there's a trace of that virus in your system, but it won't tell you if you're infectious. It won't tell you at what level you're at. It won't tell you anything. And there's actually a strict warning on these PCR tests. And here's another thing, also from the inventor, the creator of this test out of Berkeley, scientist out of Berkeley, warning to never use this test in the manner and fashion in which we're using it. Because they actually go on to say all we would be doing is stoking fear and fear-mongering and creating panic by simply announcing the infections on the nightly news. And what exactly are we doing every single night? And what is Kevin Dick doing? And what is the Washoe County Health Department doing? And the state task force doing? Announcing the infections every day. But what are they telling us at the hospital? I know everybody's got a friend, but I'm actually speaking to the people on the ground there. I'm talking to them daily. And I was recently told that the hospitals are in the same state and have the same capacity that they have this year, this time of year, every year, year after year. All right? And let me ask you guys something else. How is it that the flu is down 98% worldwide? The flu is down 98% worldwide. Come on, guys, in the comments, let's jump in here. Is this corona nonsense a bunch of garbage, or do you really still believe that it's necessary to stay locked down? Do you really still believe with 35 states? I showed you guys the states that are open, didn't I? Right? So the states that are open, that have high school sports in them, are every red state you see here. Every red state you see here, except for Minnesota and Colorado, are open. Including Minnesota and Colorado are open. So are you telling me there's a different coronavirus in those red states? I was just in Florida for 5 days, fully open. Sports, masks until you sit down in some counties that are blue counties, of course. But how's that possible? That would be like Reno and Sparks having a mask mandate and not having it. Excuse me. It'd be like Sparks having a mask mandate and Reno not. That's what it's like in Florida. Do you see mass death in Florida? Are the hospitals at full capacity in Florida? In Texas, are they? No, they're not. None of these states. Not even California. Governor Newsom is locking down California, trying to limit the amount of people you can have at your house for Thanksgiving. And right across from him, their state's fully open. No mass death. No ICU bed at max capacity. It's not happening, guys. I'm not saying there's not hospitalizations for the flu and for every other disease that we have this time of year that becomes exacerbated by the cold and flu season, and people die. Unfortunately, people die. But based on the numbers from our own CDC now, and I'm sorry, guys, but they just came out again and said over 130,000 people of the 220,000 people they called incorrectly, and they should have called it for cancer, for respiratory illness, and for heart disease. 130. The CDC just came out and said that they misdiagnosed or called the death COVID when it should have been for cancer, heart disease, or respiratory illness. That's 130 that we know about now. So subtract that from the 220. All right, guys, this country has never closed for something like this. I'm not saying the coronavirus is not real. I'm not saying the coronavirus will not kill people. But you have a greater chance of dying in a car wreck, in a fiery car wreck, driving from here out to the summit, or driving from Sparks to Reno, or driving from Carson City to, or any one of the rural areas to any populated area. You have more chance of dying in a fiery car wreck than you do from contracting and dying from the coronavirus. Fact, Jack. Look it up. And all death across the state of Nevada is down like 90%. Heart disease, stroke, respiratory illness, and cancer is all at record levels in the state per our hospitals, or maybe it's just being called COVID. Everybody please use common sense. We need everybody out to vote. Let me say this. If you've been one of those that waited, friends and family, don't let friends and family vote alone. Get on the phone, send out a text message, send out an email, and bring your friends and family to vote with you. Because if you've had enough of this nonsense like I have, then we need to end it. And how you end it is tomorrow when you vote. Because a vote against this nonsense is a vote for Donald J. Trump. Because ask yourself this question. Ask yourself this question. Who do you really think can get this economy rocking again? Don't play games. Don't just answer this question for me. Who do you really think will get this economy back rocking and popping to it was, and then some? Who's going to do it? Who's going to get more pay in your pocket? Who's going to cut more taxes? Who's going to bring more businesses back, create more jobs? Sleepy Joe Biden, who's feared out, stuck in his basement, talking about shutting down, talking about making more PPE and locking down things, and hiring Fauci, who's gotten it wrong twice, or Donald J. Trump, who's created the greatest economy in our country's history. Fact. So, again, everyone, I'm going to show you this map. This map is where Hillary Clinton won in 2016. And this map, everybody, is where high school, college, and youth sports got to start back up. This map is the map where Hillary Clinton won. And the map I'm showing you of the states that are light green are the states that opened for sports. The dark states, Nevada's one of them, we closed, and we're still closed. Our schools are still closed. Our teachers are screaming for help. They're exhausted, and who wouldn't be with this ridiculous distance learning nonsense that's not necessary. Nowhere in Europe, nowhere have they had teachers dying. Have they had, I'm not going to say a teacher hasn't caught this, but catching it from a student, they don't even have one documented transmission of pupil to teacher infection. And you people are going to say that these kids can't go back to school. I'm going to say this again. This is the map of the sports, the states that open their sports for their kids. It's available online. Look familiar to this map where Hillary Clinton won? Why are the blue states closed down if it's not political? Everybody better wake up and do something about this now. And how you do it is you come out tomorrow in record numbers and you vote to end the nonsense. Why? Because the experts across the world, this is from the BBC, have said no more lockdowns. No more staying home. What did they just order here in Nevada? Washoe County to stay home. They put us to red again. All that means that there's testing. We're tested more than any other country. That doesn't mean everything. Would we be jumping up and down every time someone got the flu? And now, isn't it funny that the CDC has stopped tracking the flu and is now just assuming anybody that presents at a hospital with flu-like symptoms has the coronavirus? So the coronavirus just cured the 10 most deadly diseases in the world. That's what you're telling me, if you want to agree with this nonsense. And so what I want to say to everybody tonight is this. I'm going to keep this as short as I can, but everyone's got to look this up. Look up the CDC saying this right here, finding that those who contract COVID frequently wore masks. The evidence found most who contract COVID frequently wore masks. Share this post. Share this video. Wake people up. At the very least, for the love of God, if we get through this election tomorrow and we can stop the nonsense from COVID, I'll be a happy man. But it's not going to happen unless you all stand up with me. Again, go look up the Great Barrington Declaration. Look who this is signed by. Look who this is signed by. And let's stop this nonsense. Governor Sisolak, voter support for your coronavirus response has tumbled. And these knuckleheads jumping on your ridiculously negative, engaged social media that you keep spouting out like a complete imbecile is shocking. The people jumping on there saying, thank you, Governor, for saving us. Thank you. I go look on them. There's no pictures. There's no job info. They're probably a troll. But if you are one of those knuckleheads thanking him for destroying our state, you You just need to get back on your meds is all I'm going to say. And let me say this. This is coming too, and this is coming quick. Michigan, the coronavirus lockdown ordered to be rescinded. Their Supreme Court held what Governor Whitmer in Michigan was doing was illegal. And guess what just happened to Governor Newsom today? He lost in court because never did the people of this state ever think a governor would say we were going to close down for 15 days to slow the spread, and it's been almost 8 months. Like, are you kidding me? And you people want to keep the masks up? The masks worked. This would have been over in May and June. But they come out with the numbers again, and everybody gets all spooked and thinks we got to wear the mask again, like that's going to make a difference. How many videos do you have to see with the air coming out of the mask before you realize the masks don't work? And how many of you knuckleheads get on airplanes? If you're on an airplane for an hour and you're flying somewhere and they let you take your mask off so you can eat or drink on the airplane and you're breathing recycled air for an hour or 5 hours and this virus is aerosolized, then what? Explain that to me. You think the captain's up there wearing his mask? Because if you do, I got some oceanfront property to sell you in Arizona. Wake up, people. There would be no air travel if this was an airborne virus. The masks don't work. The CDC says it. Pay attention to them. Okay? And here's another thing I want everybody to know, because I did the research. I'm the guy that went and pulled the numbers, and I found out with the masks here in the state. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I compared the state of Nevada, I compared 84 million in population of red states. Here's for you guys to see this. Here's 84 million. You see that? Red state population. 84 million. Total cases of infected, 2,300,000. Total deaths, 43,000. Death case ratio, 1.8%. You guys see that? That was me totaling up all the red states. What red states did I total up? The ones that are open. Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Idaho, Kansas, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Texas, and Utah. Total population, 84 million. Then I totaled up Arizona, California, Colorado, Nevada, New Jersey, and New York. And you know what I ended up with, everybody? Look at this blue state totals. Population right at 84 million, 83,900,000. Infection rate, 1.6 million. Death rate, 74,000, almost double, or a death case ratio of 4.6%. Now everybody, New York, New Jersey, Nevada, Colorado, California, and Arizona, and the rest of them have had some of the highest restrictions, the biggest catastrophes taking place in them, unemployment, suicide, okay, record death happening, not just murders and crime exploding and skyrocketing, okay, but exacerbated medical conditions. What do I mean by that? People aren't going for their checkups. You've scared these people so much, they're staying home until they're dead. Until they're dead. Or they're staying home until it's too late to help them. So everybody, I'm going to say this one more time. Get in the comments, get loud, share this video, share this post, share this Facebook Live tonight, because people need to open their eyes. Mask mandate in Argentina, everybody. Look at this. On April 14th, they instituted masks. They made masks mandatory in Argentina. And what happened? The infection rates skyrocketed. Why? Because according to Dr. Fauci back in April, masks don't work. Why don't masks work? Because you're not wearing them properly. You're touching your face. You're touching everything else. You're touching your face. You're touching your phone. You're touching the steering wheel. You're touching the doorknob, door handle, bathroom handle, and then you're touching your face. And Fauci said outside of a medical or healthcare setting, masks are not necessary. Masks don't work. But in a healthcare setting, for all you healthcare providers and nuts, I'm not saying anything bad. You're in a sterile environment where you're changing that mask, your gown. Yes, you wear a mask. Yes, masks work. Okay, to prevent spit and other stuff from flying out of your mouth into an open wound. But for viruses, they don't work. Otherwise, you'd be in a bug suit, a hazmat suit. So everybody, as we close this out, you knew your boy wasn't going to leave you hanging on election night. No way, no how. I needed to show you this. If it wasn't any more political, here you go. Coronavirus cases are rising in every swing state. Really? I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. You know the thing. Biden said the thing. You know the thing. Yeah, the thing. The thing is called nonsense and garbage. And everybody needs to stand up for it tomorrow and put a nail in this coffin. No more lockdowns. No more masks. No more business restrictions. Vote to put your kids back in school. Vote to open your businesses. Vote to go back to your churches. Vote to go back to our sports. Vote to have our entertainment venues opened up. Vote to have our teams back on the courts, fields, tracks, and mats. That's what you're voting for tomorrow, Nevada. And that's what you're voting for, United States. Everybody, anybody who's watching this, your vote is a vote to open this great country back up, to put our kids back in school, to go back to business as usual, because the hell with this new normal. It ain't happening. All right? Everybody has had it. Everybody has had it. And again, to finish up one more time, the CDC study, not Joey Gilbert's study, the CDC study found evidence that most who contract the coronavirus frequently wore masks. And do you want to know who didn't contract the coronavirus? Only 4% of those who didn't wear a mask contracted the coronavirus in the same control group. Wow, that sure messes up your little narrative, doesn't it, Sisolak, with your garbage? All right? And here's something to remind everybody. A Trump health official blasts Nevada after state ends rapid coronavirus testing in nursing homes. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is not responsible for what's happening in this state or any other blue state that's locked down. It's the governor. President Donald J. Trump coordinated the greatest effort ever for a disaster or catastrophe known in this country's history. How do I know that? Go look at Governor Gavin Newsom giving Trump praise. I know it's a hard thing to imagine, but go search for it on Google. Type in Gavin Newsom praises Trump, or Gavin Newsom congratulates Trump. Gavin Newsom thanks Trump. He actually goes on there to say, I gotta be straight. I gotta be honest. The president delivered on everything we asked for and more. Cuomo goes on to say his team was on it. I know a team when I see a team, and his team was on it. Every governor that worked with the president and worked with him and requested information or resources from him got it. The coronavirus task force has been advising every state. Here are the states not listening. Do you all understand this? These are the states not listening. And these are the states with the highest death, the highest infections, the highest unemployment, the highest suicides, the highest addiction problems. Okay, do you understand where I'm going here? Their kids aren't in school. There's no sports. Their businesses are restricted. Their churches are restricted. Am I getting through to you? I hope I'm coming clear, because this is getting to be a little ridiculous that 9 months later, I'm still doing this. Yeah, damn right I'm pissed, because I haven't seen one of our elected leaders stand up and say something about this. Well, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to keep doing it. Get loud, Nevada. Make a stand. Speak. Silent majority, you better come out. You better get everybody out of their houses. You better get on your phone, and you better take people to the polls and do what they've been doing to us for years. Vote these clowns out, and vote them out now. All right, and let me say this, everybody. Let me finish up with this, because I can't get any more clear. The stats everywhere, BBC, Australia, all say the same thing. You see that? The coronavirus lockdowns did nothing. The coronavirus lockdowns had little effect on the spread. Do you see that? For those of you that want to lecture me, that because people didn't lock down or because they didn't have a mask on, it spread. It's a virus. Viruses spread. The only way through this is through herd immunity. I know you don't like him. Dr. Atlas, Dr. Scott Atlas, I've been talking about him since April. Why is it that in the red states, infections are going down? Go look at Sweden's death rate now. Go look at, I know that everybody had bumps. Go look at Sweden now and look at these red states. If what Governor Sisolak and Governor Newsom were telling you, and Governor Cuomo were telling you were true, every red state here would have mass death and every hospital would be at max capacity. Someone do me a favor in the comments right here, and please go look up Florida's hospital capacity and let me know, with 5 rallies from Trump there every day for the last couple weeks, if they're at full capacity yet and if people are dying everywhere, because they're not. It's nonsense. I said this 4 weeks ago, that if Florida wasn't shut down by October 10th and they weren't at max capacity and their hospitals weren't over capacity and people weren't dying in the hallways and in the ER because they didn't have beds, then Nevada should open up 100%. It's been a month. It's been a month. Florida's been open. And we're still playing the games. So get ready, everybody. Remember this, though. Remember this. Michigan, the Supreme Court found that the Michigan governor was violating the law and the Constitution, just like Governor Sisolak's doing. You cannot shut down Nevadans' businesses and stick their kids at home when you're seeing the kind of repercussions you're seeing, Governor, or have you lost it? Enough is enough. The Great Barrington Declaration, folks. Look it up. You Democrats that want to get on my page and spout your nonsense, go argue with the professionals and the experts, not me. I'm just a dumb attorney, remember? I'm an ambulance chaser. Yeah, that's had it. That's had it. And again, one more time for you people. One more time since I got some of your attention. CDC study found evidence most who contract the Corona-19 virus frequently wore masks. Do you see that? Am I clear to you? I hope so. And here's the other one. I want you to see this. The study also demonstrates that under 4% of case patients became sick with the virus even though they never wore a mask or face covering. Under 4%. Riddle me that. Why are we wearing masks? Why are we reporting all these crazy infection rates when they don't mean anything? Because if they did, again, if they meant something, everybody, then every red state on here would be closed and experiencing mass death, and they're not. You can't argue science. Please explain to me, Governor Sisolak, how these red states can have youth sports, college sports, okay, high school sports, and we can't. Is there a different coronavirus in the red states? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you one more time to please vote for our freedoms, vote for our schools, vote for our children, vote for our student athletes, vote for our businesses and for our churches. Vote for our seniors to protect them, because that's where the resources should be being directed. Focused care on those that need it. Not a bunch of nonsense on PBR tests of people that doesn't mean anything. They have no symptoms, they're not even sick, and you're telling them to come test so that you could jack up the numbers and scare the hell out of everybody, and it's nonsense and it needs to end. Stop testing, Nevada. Stop going in for a test unless you're sick. And if you are sick, stay home. Stay home. And if you feel like your symptoms are progressing, go get tested or reach out to your doctor. But if once you go in and you get tested, they're sending you home. You go test for the corona. They're not giving you anything special. They're sending you home anyway. It's a bunch of nonsense, everybody. The stats are clear. The lockdowns don't work. And the lockdowns have done, do you see that? Stats hold a surprise. Lockdowns may have had little effect on COVID-19 spread. The spread. If the lockdowns didn't stop the spread, then what the hell was the point? If the lockdowns didn't stop the spread, why are our kids on distance learning with our teachers freaking out? How the hell are they supposed to balance between this? Let the kids go back to full-time school, you absolute psychopaths. Because if it was true that the kids were in trouble and people could die from it, why aren't they closed in the other states? Riddle me that. All right? If what you're saying is true, Governor Sisolak, if what you're saying is true, Kevin Dick, if what you're saying is true, Washoe County School District, Clark County School District, if what you guys are saying is true, then why are all the kids in these red states dead? Or even in the hospital? They're not. Because it's a bunch of nonsense. And again, why is it that I have to pull all my news? Why is it that our lame street, why is it your job, News 8? Why isn't it your job, News 2? Why isn't it your job, News 4? Or how about your job, Fox 11? Because you guys are all fake news and you're pathetic. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to go on the Australian newspapers to print something like this. The WHO, the World Health Organization, advocates lockdowns as being bad. But our news won't report it because they're too busy reporting on nonsense and not the fact that the blue states have the most death, the most unemployment, the highest suicide rates, okay, the greatest business failures, and they're going to have the worst repercussions for years to come. Thank you, Governor Sisolak, for your systemic stupidity. I'm done. But I'm telling you right now, Nevada, get out and vote like your business, life, children's future, okay, and your lifestyle depends on it, because it does. This is the greatest election of our lifetime. And if you want your freedoms to remain in place, if you want to go to work when you want to go to work, if you want your kids to be at school, if you want to go to church when you want to go to church, okay, if you don't want to wear a mask, then you know how to vote tomorrow. Vote to end this nonsense. Because if you don't vote tomorrow, we stand the chance of being locked down in Joe Biden's cold, dark winter for months. Look up the Great Reset, everybody. This isn't a game. And as we close, two things to close with. Again, bing and bang. Number one, CDC study found evidence most who contract COVID frequently wore masks. Try and debate me on it. Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. And right here, here you go. Highest death rate, highest infection rates, highest unemployment, largest amounts of suicides, largest depression, seniors in peril, food bank lines empty. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? The blue states, the blue state governors, what are they doing? And now out here on the West Coast, they're saying they're not going to allow the vaccine until they decide. Things won't go back to normal till we have a vaccine that Governor Sisolak approves of, right? Him and his little 4-state pack. You all better get loud, guys. And it's funny, I see someone in my comments. Isn't it funny, if I'm wrong about these false positives, about these testing I'm talking about, PCR testing, if I'm wrong, how come all of a sudden you'll see a whole team, a whole major league team, NFL, NHL, MLB, test positive, and then they'll all retest and they're all negative? What did that? Could it be sample contamination? Could it be instrument connect? Could the more you test, the more the false positives are increasing? Because look it up, because I'm right and you're wrong. That's right. All right, everybody, it's Joey Gilbert signing off. Most important election of our lifetime. Get out there and vote for freedom. Vote for our jobs. Vote for our health care. And President Trump has signed numerous documents covering pre-existing conditions. So stop the insane nonsense. Stop it. And stop with the nonsense of them not having a coronavirus response. Joe Biden and the rest of them, including all the Democrats in the Senate and House, did not want to shut down travel from China, and Trump did. Trump did. Remember that. He was the first to act, like he's been first every time. All right, everybody, I'll leave you with this one. Last picture. Look where Nevada is. Let's flip this sucker red, everybody. Flip it red, or don't come bitching to me in the dead of winter when your business is failing and your kids are still at home, because it's going to happen. Wow. Either that or I'm going to win this lawsuit. God bless. I love you. I fight for this community. I fight for all Nevadans, whether you're up here or down in Vegas or any of my rural community or any rural Nevada, how much I love you guys and how much I feel for you and how scared I know you were. And now we know how to beat this, but we need everybody on board. And we need all doctors to wake up out of your comatose and use the medications, the therapeutics that are working with the highest efficacy, whether you like it or not. Whether you're political or not, you took an oath to do no harm. Doctors that aren't prescribing the medication, you know which one I'm talking about, our Governor Bandit. You better use it or you're going to get sued. Understand that. Do what you need to do, everybody. Make this vote count. Get out there. And again, vote for President Donald J. Trump for 4 more years. God bless. And if you need me, you know how to find me.